Hey guys, how's it going today? So, I'm going to be making another movie review for Live by Night. So, Live by Night is starring Ben Affleck. Some notable things that Ben Affleck has done is he's played the Batman in the Justice League franchise. He's also played in The Last Duel, The Accountant, Jay and Silent Bob, and Triple Frontier that was released on Netflix. That was a phenomenal movie as well. So if you get a chance, check out any of those. It's also starring Zoe Saldana. She is also played in Guardians of the Galaxy, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, Takers, and Colombiana. She is a female actress that really puts it all on the table. Now, some other notable actors that star in this movie and really help carry this movie to the finish line would be Chris Messina, Sienna Miller, Robert Glenister, Chris Cooper, Brendan Gleeson, and Matthew Mayer. So these are, of course, this movie has other actors and actresses in it, but these are the most notable that really come forth and help carry this movie to what it is. So this movie was also directed, surprisingly, by Ben Affleck. So he stars in it, and of course he does an amazing job, and he also directs it. So this guy Ben Affleck is just acting as well as directing. I was pleasantly surprised to learn that he was also the director. Now, another fun fact that I think people out there would like to know is that this movie was produced by none other than Leonardo DiCaprio. So not only is Leonardo DiCaprio killing it as far as acting goes, you could look at his entire resume. There's no question that he's an amazing actor, but he's also helping to produce other great quality movies. I think that's an amazing thing. I'm sure that's how the rich stay rich. You invest in yourself. And I mean, if you're dominating an industry, why not invest in a business created for that, right? So, fun fact there. The movie Live by Night is kind of about this character, Joe Coughlin, that Ben Affleck plays. He's the son of a police chief who Brendan Gleeson plays, would be Thomas Coughlin. And instead of following in his father's footsteps, he kind of decides to try his luck in the criminal lifestyle and he robs other criminals as well as banks with a couple of his friends. And that works out for him for a little bit. But then he also falls in love with one of the highly decorated Irish mobster's girlfriend. I don't know if it's his main girl or his side piece, but falls in love with her and they're kind of doing their thing on the side. So now he finds himself in this situation where I need to try to escape this city of Boston with my life and be unnoticed. Also, I'd like to note that this story takes place in Boston in the Prohibition era. So I'm assuming sometime in the 1920s. Sad to say, I don't know when the Prohibition era ended. I want to say maybe sometime in the 1930s, but it took place then. So when criminal organizations such as the Mafia, Irish mobsters, and so forth really took advantage of that law and basically made a lot of money. Joe Coughlin, Ben Affleck's character, made the mistake of thinking that he can have his cake and eat it too. He ends up losing quite a bit, and due to his loss and kind of in the rebirth of his state of mind, he decides to give his life up to the mafia so that he can get some revenge on how he felt like he was wronged. Now, within this process, he does some good for people, but he also falls in love again. But again, he's doing all of this within the lifestyle of living in the mafia and the criminal elements that he's engaged in, business that he's engaged in. It's a really great movie. I don't know if hopefully I explained it great to make you guys interested, but the plot is really, really good. It was executed very well, and it's a really good movie. A couple of things I would love to point out. Ben Affleck kills it, man. Ben Affleck's character, Joe Coughlin, he was just so smooth. He really gets you intrigued with, man, how is he going to conduct himself? How is he going to accomplish this goal? How is he going to accomplish that goal? And it really sucks you in. Another character that I really want to point out was Chris Messina, who played Dion Bartolo. Dion Bartolo was one of Joe Coughlin's friends that robbed other criminals and banks with, and he was also brought into the mafia life with Joe Coughlin, and he was his right-hand man, dude. I mean, basically whatever he needed done, Dion was down, and he was like, whatever you need, I got it. And I love seeing that kind of character in these kinds of movies because, in my opinion, in that kind of lifestyle, that criminal lifestyle, you need guys like that. You need that ride or die who's going to do whatever you want him to do, no matter if it's night, day, in public, in private. And he did it, and bro, he did it so well. He was so gangster, bro. And that's what I love about this movie. I'm really into mafia documentaries and so forth. I love the structure of the mafia and just how they got down, bro. And this movie really conveys that in a very artistic way. So I loved it, man. Chris Messina as Dion Bartolo, one of my favorites. I think if this movie was missing his character, it wouldn't be as good as it was, even though you had other stars such as Ben Affleck and Zoe Saldana and so forth. Another character I would really like to pay homage to was Robert Glenister. Robert Glenister played Albert White in this movie. And bro, again, along with Dion, he just really brought that gangster element. Albert White was the head of the Irish mob in this movie. And bro, just his mannerisms, the way he carried himself, you could tell he was just a gangster, bro. Living that criminal lifestyle is like kind of like being in prison. When you can't go to the law, when you've been wronged or robbed, you have to show people, I'm gonna take this respect if you ain't gonna give it to me. He represented that very well. I enjoyed his accent, the way he spoke. It was just so gangster, bro. So Robert Glenister, thank you. That's all I can really say, bro. You really made me enjoy the antagonist aspect of it. So another person I would love to pay homage to was Brendan Gleeson, who plays Thomas Coughlin. Brendan Gleeson, he's a legend. He's played in Harry Potter, Braveheart, Gangs of New York, Edge of Tomorrow, Safe House, Beowulf, Troy. Like, the list goes on, man, and he just does a phenomenal job in each of those. And it's no different in this movie. He's charismatic, he's very cool-headed, and just kind of like Ben Affleck's character, just a smooth criminal, bro, but he's a police chief. So you could tell, you could see, okay, that's where he gets that smoothness from his dad. So I really enjoyed that. Sienna Miller, who played Emma Gould, she was good. Of course, her character in the movie wasn't that likable. You can just kind of see the red flags in a lot of places, but that was her job as an actress. So Sienna Miller did a really good job as well. I enjoyed her parts in there and the part that she played within the whole plot. She did a really good job. Chris Cooper, who plays the Florida chief, Irving Figgis, he did a really good job. Again, a legend in that industry. He's done a lot of things in the past. He definitely deserves that respect because he has the skill set. I enjoy him as well. And then the last person I would like to mention was Matthew Maher. He played R.D. Pruitt. Now, guys, I want to make this abundantly clear. This guy was a piece of shit in the movie, okay? He was not a good person in the movie. He really makes you hate him. But again, this guy is an actor. This is his job. His job is to play a very unlikable person, and he did it so well. Even though he did a really good job, I don't know his past work. I hope he's not that kind of a person in real life. I doubt he is. So I just want to pay, respect to him and just kind of put it out there that he did a phenomenal job with his character, even though he was unlikable. But again, that was his job, so he did a really good job at that. So thank you to Matthew Maher for that. A couple of pros about this movie. I'm a really big fan of the Prohibition era and the 1920s. There's just so many aspects about it that I really like and kind of wish was still going on. I really liked the way they used to dress. I liked the cars that they drove. I liked the fact that they only went 45 miles an hour. I talk about this all the time. I'm sure they had a lot less fatal car accidents, only going 45 an hour. There were a lot of things I liked about the Prohibition era. It takes place in that time frame. I'm also, again, a really big fan of the mafia and the mob. Don't get me wrong. I think that there's a lot of chaos that goes on in that lifestyle and for the people that are involved in it. I'm not condoning that, but there are aspects of that life that I do find glamorous and admirable. Not to say that I would like to do that, because I wouldn't, but I'm sure there are things that come with that lifestyle that are enjoyable. And, you know, as a middle class citizen, I can see how certain individuals would turn to that lifestyle, even though I never would, but I can fantasize, right? So I really enjoyed that. So another thing I liked, the character Dion Bartolo, the loyalty that he showed, again, it's just so admirable. It just makes you leave the movie just thinking about how loyal the character was to a fault, and you're just like, God, I really liked his character. So that's one thing you guys are going to notice throughout the whole movie. His character just never leaves Joe Coughlin's side. It's a beautiful relationship, if I can say that. Another pro to this movie that I like to point out was Zoe Saldana. Zoe Saldana, I really enjoyed her in this movie because it was very realistic, I want to say, on how a woman would probably be involved in that lifestyle. I really liked the way she represented a Cuban slash black woman, because the woman Emma Gould, she represented herself in a way that was probably less ladylike and a little bit frowned upon. When they introduced Graciela Corrales, which was Zoe Saldana's character, she was beautiful, she was smart, she was respectable, and also loyal. So that was also admirable. I really enjoyed that about her character. Another really important thing that I would really like to point out is the fact that there was an interracial couple or relationship that took place in this movie. Being biracial myself, I really love to see interracial love stories. So Joe Coughlin's character, being a Caucasian male from Boston, falling in love with this Cuban slash black beautiful woman in Florida. It was a beautiful thing to see, and it was beautiful how much they complemented each other. And yeah, it was just, I really love to see that. Love to see diversity and people coming together when they have feelings for one another. My only con to this movie is there was an actress by the name of Ellie Fanning who played Loretta Figgis. She was the daughter of Chief Irving Figgis. I felt like they kind of inserted her a little bit too much in the movie. I didn't mind certain aspects where she kind of helped persuade certain situations, but eventually they kind of just focused on her and her character for some reason, and I was kind of bored with that. I didn't think her character was interesting enough. I didn't really care about what she was doing, and the fact that Joe Coughlin, Ben Affleck's character, wasn't willing to do what he had done countless times before, I'm sure, to get business handled. He didn't do it for some reason. That didn't really make sense to me. So that was probably the only con to the movie. That was the only thing that I didn't enjoy about the movie that I could have done without. Typically when I rewatch it, I'll kind of fast forward over those certain spots in the movie. But other than that one small blip, dude, everybody in it was great. They played their part right, and it was a phenomenal movie. So, of course, based off of everything you've heard me say so far, you could probably predict the general area in which my rating of this movie would be. So, if I were to rate this movie, Live by Night, I would rate this movie a 9.5 out of 10. The reason this movie is not getting a 10, again, is because of that small flaw that I just felt was a little unnecessary. Yeah, that's it. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Would I recommend you buying this movie? Absolutely. Okay? Buy this movie on 4K if you can. I don't know if they sell it on 4K, but for sure, buy it on Blu-ray. Don't bother buying it on standard definition. You're going to want good quality with this movie. Buy it on Blu-ray if you can, 4K for sure. So that's it, guys. That is my review of the movie Live by Night, starring Ben Affleck and Zoe Saldana. If you liked this review, please press subscribe and also press like. If you want to see more, hit the notification bell. I do plan on putting more out, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.